Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stone and Void. I'm your host, Jay Phillips. Joining me, as always, Patrick Collins.
Yeah.
Don Bowie.
Hey.
And we're getting into this week with a bunch of new stuff. My favorite time of the year, which only comes 4 times a year, awesome enough, is the spoiler season.
This is going to be one long spoiler season, Jay.
Oh, yeah, no, we have this, we have the starter decks, we have just so many things coming to the Game of Force of Will right now that I'm just super excited.
Yeah, they changed the schedule. It's isn't it Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays now they're doing spoilers?
Yes.
Not just, was it Tuesdays and Thursdays?
Yeah, it's not Tuesdays and Thursdays anymore.
Mm-hmm. Multiple spoilers.
3 times a week now.
Yeah. Also, by the time this comes out, we will already have the Vanguard set already released, which we've talked about a little bit, mainly stoked about the stones, and just a ton of new things coming up in the newest set, which kind of leads really powerful new cards that I'm super excited to see. Kind of shake up the format a lot. I almost think that anything that predates the new set is kind of not going to hold up in comparison.
Really?
I don't know how pushed everything's going to be in general, but I hear a lot of people complaining about a stale format already with the stealth deck that came out, things with R&R, but the new mechanics that we're about to talk about, starting off very quickly with the Prince of the Light Palace, which turns into the new...
Millennium.
Yeah, so the Millennium Prince... Sorry, the titles for the cards are still in that weird font that I have a hard time reading.
I think it's a different font, but
it's
these
slightly
ones
different
are
font.
actually been harder for me to read.
I still think they're
Compared
all
to the
really,
other
really hard to read in general. The V still looks like a W to me and various other problems. Either way, so I'm not going to try and read the names off too well, guys. But most importantly, this is something that's going to put all the older rulers kind of in their place.
To shame.
The most relevant, I think, mechanic they've added to the game, which is funny because it's from Hearthstone, and you guys haven't figured out already. It's the Energize mechanic. Quickly put, it is a whatever color the ruler is, has that little will symbol, and as you start the game, if you're not the first person to go, you get a coin with banish this coin, produce one of the will of the ruler that you have. Mm-hmm. And going forward, from here forward, all rulers will have this ability. What do you guys think about this? I think this is nuts. This is a very powerful ability, and we see it right here in the first ruler.
I think this is a huge shakeup in the game. I play Hearthstone a lot, and it doesn't really have instant speed spells. So having a coin and the ability to play instant speed spells is pretty crazy.
Yeah, you can wall a win on your opponent's first turn.
You can
before you
thunder
even
on the
start.
first turn.
Thunder, all of these abilities.
Which brings to the point that there are these 2 colors that have thunder and wall of wind, and that's red and green. Mm-hmm. So I think those 2 J rulers are going to be dominant. It means the other 3 colors won't have that 1 cost mana spell.
Yeah. Especially if you're going first. So you're going to see decks that manipulate this ability a lot more than anything else. Yes, that does mean if you're going second, you'll see a lot of these rulers. But in the sideboard, you will see some of the older rulers when you go first. You know you're going first. You'll switch out to maybe R&R, maybe whatever you want for an extra ability. But if you're, starting out the match, I'm pretty sure most people mained deck are these rulers just for that coin ability. Do you think it's that important or no?
I mean, so we're still talking about the Energize ability?
Yeah.
When I first saw this ability, I was like, oh my gosh, I think this game really needs the Energize ability. Mm-hmm. But as of recently, even with all this talk about the stealth decks, I'm still kind of I still think R&R is still a better ruler over these Energize cards. But we have been told many, many a time that I believe it's in this set that there's supposed to be a card that pretty much wrecks multicolored stone users. Mm-hmm. So these guys are primarily 1 color. And if that card really actually affects multicolored stone users, then that would hurt Reflect. Mm-hmm. And I think that would put these guys over Reflect.
Well, I'm pretty sure you're going to see a lot of decks later on with these rulers being multicolored. This one in particular is going to be monocolored, mainly, if not maybe 2-colored, mainly because it does have this really good ability. If you played the original Grim Cluster, this is very similar to the original Grim, which is you may pay any attribute to the cost of Fairy Tale, Resonators, with light will. So you play light will, you're able to pay anything you want. That's how the Grim was. Except for Grim didn't have a backside, which this Grim, the Millennia, the new ruler does.
Million.
Yeah. He gets to flip over to a 900, and he is, let me go ahead and pull him up really quick. When he enters the field, put the top card of your magic stone into your field. So we saw that back in the day with Melgus and Faria. So not anything new. You may pay attribute cost of Fairy Tale Resonators with Light Will. So he retains the effect, which makes him very powerful. It allows him to fix for Fairy Tales. And when this card attacks or blocks, and then it has a new mechanic, which is Force, which I'm not too excited about Force. You roll, so it's Force 1, which is you roll a die, and whatever the value for that is, so it's X. If you roll 1, you add 1 plus 100 counter to him. You roll 6, you add 6 plus 1 counters to him. I think adding a bit of variance to the game is kind of an awkward thing to do at this stage.
I hate RNG.
A lot of people are upset.
I hate RNG.
It makes it feel kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! / Pokemon.
A lot of people are comparing this to Pokemon, and it's just so dumb. I like this game because it doesn't have variance.
I mean, so he is a 1,000 is how you got to look at it, and sometimes he sneezes and becomes a 14/14.
There's got to be some randomness in a game,
your attack power of your creature is kind of an odd one to be a random feature.
So, are you in support of this?
I am not in support of this because it makes if you gave me two mana.
Are you saying it's too weak or too powerful?
Too weak.
Too weak.
So
then what's the problem?
It's a bunch of unplayable cards. I just don't like seeing bad cards being printed in this game that much. We only have 105 cards in the set. I don't want an entire mechanic to be wasted. I don't like, when evolution shows up and just becomes, the forget me mechanic. I think this is a forget me mechanic because if you have a 2 mana 100 creature that has force, and sure he can become slightly big, or a 2 mana creature that is 400 attack. He's always 400 attack. He's never less. He's never more. You can know that he's whatever. And those are terrible stats. But you know where I'm going for at this. You want that consistency. A random thing like this can sometimes be bad, and it messes everything up for me.
I don't know. I like.
I just feel like I'm gambling. Like if I play this card in a GP, and I'm gambling my whole.
You're already gambling. You're in an AGP. You paid $25. And it's either all gone or you earn some of it back. I mean, it's gambling.
No, so he's meaning gambling as in his results. He could be playing something consistent that he knows is going to get the job done, or he can do this thing that 50% of the time I'm happy, 50% of the time why did I show up?
I don't want to win because of dice roll.
That.
Okay.
Or lose because of dice roll.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious. I think it makes the game more interactive. I don't think we have you on here. I don't think it's a good ability.
Yeah.
But I think it's fun, and I support it. And it's already in the most laughable color, anyways. Yellow, white, whatever you want to call it. They're just giving it to the junk color, anyways. So it's what are you guys upset about?
I guess it's pretty fun. I mean, would you play a card that's 2 blue force that draws X?
Draws X. Oh my god.
That
I think Jay might be all over that card.
But that would just be such variance.
Wait, say that again?
Pay 2 blue will, force X. So you may draw 6 cards off of 2 blue.
So that's actually different because you're guaranteed to draw 1. That's worth 2 mana on the scale of things.
Okay, maybe 4 or something.
Yeah, no. 3. Once you get to 3 mana, then no. Then you'd start taking actual averages, and that's a whole nother. I don't really want to play the game when it comes to drawing cards because that's actually a good mechanic. That skews kind of funny. You need other cards to put that next to, which is the problem with these force cards is we have other cards that are just better than those on average. And that's the problem, is the drawing the cards. If there's something better than that on average, Lay the Foundation is strictly a better card than...
And this is the starter deck, right?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, Millium's
Oh,
starter
Millium
deck.
is the starter deck.
This
Yeah.
Is the starter deck one?
Yeah, this is all the starter deck.
So all the 4 stuff is from the starter
In
deck.
the starter deck.
But it's still a new mechanic that's being
We
added
may not,
into
it might not be all that prevalent in the actual set.
No. But I think him as a ruler, though, we'll see play. Is the main reason why I wanted to bring
He's
him
pretty
up.
good.
I just think that the green ruler is right now, without the lack of like a good white 1-drop spell for that energize.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about the white guys?
Yeah. So in green you
Really?
can play Wall of Wind, and in red you can play Thunder. Like, you can't beat those.
Yeah.
Well, those are instants.
Yeah. And white just needs one like that. And so does blue. You know?
I mean, I guess, what do you want to counter in turn 1? Swallow Wind.
I mean, whatever they play, it's just good to get ahead on the tempo against them.
Just
You know?
like
So it's always good to use Wall of Wind when you have it when they're playing something.
It depends on what deck you're going up against, but I mean, if
it's aggro, you probably counter it, right?
Guinevere.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
First turn countering a Guinevere would be pretty
yeah,
nifty.
setting off an aggressive player against you, that first initial kind of like board presence that they get against you, just keeps building.
Mm-hmm.
As a control deck, being able to stop that is very relevant.
I mean, do you guys think this makes you stronger on the draw, as opposed to being
This
on
is-
the
No, it doesn't make you stronger. It just makes control playable.
Okay.
So it makes control decks very relevant.
Well, control
in the-
is the strongest in the meta right now.
and it's going to be even stronger with this coin. This punishes aggressive decks. Like, aggressive decks just aren't as good.
So you can't turn 1 Egg Cthulhu, like, and just hit for gross amounts. Turn 1. And even, like, countering an Elvish Priest or something like that, a Mana Dork would be pretty good.
And yeah,
turn 1.
that's actually really good. That stopping your opponent from getting an entire resource ahead of you.
Mm-hmm.
All these things are going to advantage control heavily, and I'm super excited for that personally. But you're going to see these rulers be utilized that way a lot more. But also going on, since this is a mechanic that's going to be staying with all rulers from here forward, that's pretty, relevant in the future.
Well, it's supposed to. I mean, maybe there will be a backlash of people not liking it, but so far I haven't seen anyone.
No,
talk
I'm pretty
about
sure this is
it.
going to be an evergreen mechanic.
Yeah, because the game's already like Hearthstone enough. So
Yeah.
where it's like, why not just become full Hearthstone?
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just taking the best parts of all the TCGs and merging them into one. It's
Hearthstone and Magic.
and Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of.
What's
Yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh in there?
combination.
What part of Yu-Gi-Oh does it come from?
Apparently the dice roll. No.
Yeah.
Actually, there's not too much from Yu-Gi-Oh! Other than the synchro-esque styled plays that the game has, where so I would contribute a mechanic similar to not Awake. What is it? The thing that Cthulhu's do. What's
Oh,
that called?
Incarnation.
Incarnation's
There's like symbol skill.
that Incarnation is a very similar ability to things that you'd see in Yu-Gi-Oh! Not
Yeah.
something that you see in Magic or anything like that.
I guess that's true, but that's just like a very, very small hint.
Still though, it's and the coin's a small hint, taken from Hearthstone.
It's like the exact same thing.
Still though,
That's like
they're
a
taking
giant
small
part of the
things
game.
of everything.
It's a big part.
We're getting a little off topic, guys. I'm sorry. So there's a lot of other rulers that they have spoiled. The green one is the one that you were already talking about as well. We're not going to go every card tonight, guys. I really just kind of want to talk about a few of the mechanics and also the rulers themselves. The green ruler, his name is really, really hard to read.
It's
Sun
the monkey.
Wukong?
Yeah, Sun Wukong. It's the Monkey King.
He's the Monkey King. He
That
is
Goku kind of goes after,
Yeah.
and there's some lore about a
the Monkey King, born from the stone.
He's born from the stone.
So Inner Giant as well. His judgment is 2 wind, 2 colorless. You pay 1 wind, 2 less to play. This ability, if you control the names. I'm having a hard time saying those names. Sorry, I don't have my
Sha
computer tonight,
Wujing
guys.
and Zubaji. That's the
Yeah.
best I can do on that.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, so he does become cheaper off those abilities. 1 win, search your deck for a card name, Flying Cloud. and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. That'll become really relevant here in a second because we actually want to go over what that actually means. His backside, he is a... Yeah, I know.
Sorry,
I'm still
like
terrible.
the backside.
I've always been saying that incorrectly, but that's perfectly fine with me. He is 1,000, and he's a myth, so we're getting more myths into the game.
Yep.
He is great Sky Sage, Sun, Wukong.
Yeah.
When this card enters the field, search your deck for a card named Shaw, the two various people that we just mentioned a second ago.
Those two dudes.
Reveal them and put them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. 0, you may put a card named Flying Cloud from your hand into the field. So if you already search for that card, it gets to go in for free. Very weird ruler. I am kind of curious as to what.
So if you look at his support cards, I know we're not going to go over them, but all his support cards buff him. One of them gives him target attack. No, maybe
it's a new keyword.
One of them gives him swiftness. It's target attack. It's the changed target attack. I believe.
Okay.
And then also this cloud can give him +200. So there's all these cards that buff him up.
So he's the first non.
He's like the first beater of the green decks.
Yeah.
He's like the first least control-y. I mean, you can argue that his support cards, the two guys that he summons, because one of them, they both tax your opponent in some way.
Well, we might actually take a small look at those. Really quick though, the whole reason why I wanted to talk about him was the flying cloud that he comes with. It's a 1 green addition, and as long as this card is not bestowed to a card in your J ruler is wind. I'm sorry, I'm reading that a little bit wrong. It gains +200 and flying. As long as it's bestowed, a resonator is wind. It gains 200 and flying. So this is like a J or J/resonator addition. But it doesn't say that anymore. That's something that they're changing from this card.
No, it's more like a field edition when it comes into play.
Right. When it comes into play, it's just the field. Those are the things of when it's attached to something. It has a new keyword mechanic, which is called Bestowed. For 1 wind, tap. Bestow this card to target resonator. Play this ability only if this card is not bestowed to a card, and anytime you could play a chant. So... this is getting rid of the field editions, J/resonator editions, and any other weird addition thing.
I don't think it's getting rid of it. It's introducing just additions.
Right.
Which is the new thing. And I think they're just going to do additions from now on.
Yeah, it's just going to be additions.
I think they're just trying to clean everything up, basically.
Yeah, no, they're totally trying to clean everything up, but there's a lot of hoopla. All over. It's like, so where does this put Bo? Because Bo, as you know, if you remove 2 counters, you can destroy an addition resonator. But they're removing addition resonators from the game.
Right. So, and this is what I started off at the top of the show with, is a lot of this set feels like they're pushing out the old cards. Sure, all these cleaning up mechanics, and everything like that, I think are beneficial for the game, and I think overall this is going to be good for the game. But it does make a lot of the older set kind of irrelevant. Yeah, it really doesn't necessarily make the power level higher. It just really makes the other stuff not relevant, which is a power to itself. Making your opponent's cards not do anything against you.
Yeah. I think it's a good change. It's just gonna feel different. Like, it's not gonna be the same-ish game, I would assume. I thought Addition Resonators, Addition J/Resonators was a bit clunky, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that so they obviously are just getting rid of it to get rid of the confusion.
Yeah.
Of a few things, but outside of that, I feel like this is kind of clunky in a weird way too, because it's so many words to explain that you can equip it to either your resonator or to your...
Sorry, something was equipping onto me.
I just find it kind of awkward in a few different ways.
We haven't talked about Charlotte yet.
What is Charlotte?
The blue ruler, the very first one.
First blue ruler. Let me pull her up really quick.
Let's see, what does she do on her front side? She has Energize for blue, and God, I can't remember her other ability. I know what her backside does.
I just focus on Energize because I
know she's like
so her front side is she is 1 blue, 1 colorless for Judgment, and then 1 blue, discard a card, rest target Resonator.
Okay, yeah.
Which is pretty decent. Also, in the blue spoilers, we got something really cool that I want to talk about just because of a small reason. Her other side is this card cannot be attacked. When this card enters the field, draw X cards, where X is 5 minus the number of cards in your hand. And then she has 1 blue, 1 colorless, discard a card, return target Resonator to its owner's hand, so it bounces.
You're talking about the gain life?
And when, I was getting there. And when you draw a card, you gain 100 life. So that's kind of a interesting, relevant card.
Yeah. A lot of people like her. I'm not too into her.
I like her. She's more control of a control ruler than the green guy is.
Oh, totally. She's the most control-y out of the 3.
Yeah, I would like her if there wasn't better stuff. Like if I saw this without the other stuff like R&R.
Yeah, I'm not impressed by these rulers quite yet.
No,
yeah.
I think it's the Energizes going to put them over the top. Make them playable.
Yeah.
At least as, your starting ruler, and then you sideboard out if you're on play. So, really quick, I wanted to mention that Shift is coming back in the next set. So, I don't want to mention too many cards that are in the thing, especially if they're not too relevant, but I'm very amused by the idea of us getting a 3-colored Resonator into the game.
It's also the first Shift card to be able to shift at instant speed.
Yeah, that is true. This card cannot be attacked or blocked. It is Shift for 1 white, 1 red, 1 blue, and 2 colorless. It is a 3-drop initially, and rest a Resonator, rest a recovered
blue, white, and red.
Yeah.
And is the other ability.
That's how you instant
shift.
And then another big point about this is that its shift's backside is different than the shift cost on the front side of the Resonator.
Right, it's 7 generic and 1 red, 1 white, 1 blue, and that's
hard cast it.
To hard cast it, which is next to you're just not going to do that. When this card enters the field or shifts, your life total becomes 4,000. Put up to 1 target chant from your graveyard into your hand. I don't know if that's a relevant card, but I enjoy it.
I think if I had the colors, I think I'd play 1.
Would you play that?
I don't think I'm going to play it, but I really like just as a
because you can flip it fast with Gil Lapis.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But I just
how would you do that?
That's Gil's ability is flip it.
Oh right.
When the Resonator.
The Resonator Gil.
Not the ruler. Yeah, I don't really know too much about like how that would be.
I don't think it's
ever relevant
crazy card, but I think
no.
I don't know. I feel someone's gonna find something to do.
Yeah, I mean we were just talking about this. Like that card isn't helping you win, right?
No, this is what I said. I just like that there's a 3-colored card in the game. I like that Shift's coming back because it's an interesting mechanic.
And it's America.
America.
Red, white, and blue.
America. Very important right now, America, guys. Ooh, don't want to think about that too much. Considering, yeah. Any which way, we do have one other card that I want to talk about, just because it's a part of my favorite archetype, which is the rabbit of the Aqua Moon.
Probably Aqua Moon.
I really hate this. Yeah. 1 blue. Banish this card, draw a card, then discard a card. The cutest little rabbits ever. Not relevant at all, but I just had to bring it up because I have a pet favorite card type in this game, and it's the rabbits.
Yeah, it's cool that they got another 1-drop.
Was there any other mechanics that came out that I'm forgetting off?
We need to talk about Quick Cast.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a change to the way that the spell chants and spell chant instants and those all worked. We don't have any word on how a spell chant standbys are changing, if any at all.
That's right.
But what it is there's no longer spell chant instant. There's just just chant. It's just called chant. And what that is any card that you can play during your opponent's turn now has the keyword quick cast, which is a simplification, an easier way for people to know when they can or cannot cast a spell. That, of course, is keeping in mind or under the idea that you know that you can only cast a chant during your turn.
And for those more visual people out there, if something has quick cast, it's got that little electric-y looking thing around the mana or the will symbols.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it looks better. It was kind of hard to see, like, chant incense at the bottom of the cards. They were kind of, like, obscure and not really...
It happened today where someone tried to play 2 chants during, when they couldn't, like, during a battle phase or during my turn, and, like, that's not a spell chant instant. Like, oh.
Was it one of the newer players?
No, it was Case.
Okay, yeah. Still, the quick casting, it's actually something that Mark Rosewater from Magic the Gathering has actually written in a lot of articles that he wishes that if he could remake Magic, he would get rid of instants from their game. He would have everything called a sorcery, which is what they're called. There's instants and sorceries. He would make everything a sorcery and give it their keyword, which is flash. That's of course something that they can't do to the game since it's so far along.
Yeah.
But Force of Will, I guess maybe might have been reading that, which is great for us because it is a great simple clarification. It's a small change to the game that I think adds a lot.
And it's super early on in the game too.
So any of that can really, really help. I really wanted to really quick give a shout out to the Black Candyman shop. It actually took me a while to find this on here because we randomly got a whole bunch of comments on our last video. But he, I just wanted to say really quick, he mentioned something that I didn't think about until he said this. The change to the attack and defense being on the left-hand side is probably... It's not anything that we mentioned. It's simply when you're holding your cards in your hand and have them spread out, it's easier for a player to see visually
the attack and defense
from you just holding it naturally in your hand. Mm-hmm. Which I felt really dumb when he said that. I was like, oh man, that just...
I mean...
I flick my cards and I don't fan my cards out, so it's kind of something I wouldn't really think of.
Depending on how you fan it, right? You can still hide the left edge if you fanned it out with cards.
Yeah, it depends on how you hold them.
But the natural known way that people fan like poker hands or anything like that in like movies is you fan in the direction from left to right, and therefore you see the attack on that side.
Okay.
I actually, once he said that, it makes a ton of sense to me. That's probably the reason why we did that, and I just wanted to call ourselves out on that one because I think that's the correct.
It probably is.
Yeah, these changes have been weird to me. I've been looking at the cards, the new cards, and
I'm already used to like all the text boxes.
I'm trying to look at their attack and defense. I'm like, where is it?
Oh yeah,
this is a Resonator. And I look up to the left.
I had the same problem that Cole did when we looked at the Sun Wukong or whatever his name is. I was like, wait, is this a ruler without attack and defense? Yeah. And then I'm like, oh yeah, it's off to the side.
It just takes some getting used to, I guess.
No, we'll all be used to it in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Maybe even a month.
I mean, I like it all except for that giant bar across the center.
I don't
They chose a bad color for it. It's just like solid color. I mean, there could have been a gradient.
You know they're going to just change it because you're complaining about it.
I want a texture on it.
No. Texture. I'm actually curious to see what happens in the full arts.
Just make everything full art.
The bar's not there in the full arts anymore.
Text. And I actually... That just makes me want to like get everything in full art.
Well, there you
go. Just to get rid of that bar. I mean,
so spend more on the game.
Extra
get
money.
Your full arts, guys. But I mean, then that extends its problem to commons and uncommons.
Oh yeah, commons and uncommons are gonna suck.
Yep.
Print promos or something.
Which I mean, there's a lot of promos that are coming out.
Oh yeah, we need to talk about these promos.
So we do have 2 new promos that they exposed.
There's 4 now.
4 new promos? I know that
there's 2 Vingolf ones and there's 2
2 reprints?
Okay.
They're not reprints.
What about the Cheshire
Well, we have the Ruler League ones.
I don't know about the Cheshire
Cat. And the Thunder. The new Thunder.
It's not Cheshire Cat. You're talking about the green familiar.
So, the new familiar of the Whirlwind.
It is different.
It has a different name, and it instead of paying 1 wind and banishing it to do 300 damage, it only... you banish it for free and it does 200 damage. But it still draws you a card when it enters the battlefield.
So that's your card.
So it's still amazing. Really, really good.
It's still a 3/3, right?
It's still a 3/3.
God. A 3/3 that draws you a card and you can stack it in order to potentially kill like a Gretel kind of size thing.
Thunder is coming back.
The Thunder.
It's called Thunderbolt or Thunder Strike. Yeah,
it's Thunder Strike, I believe, which means that it's a whole new card. So in older formats, in the Wanderer format, we will have access to 2 different Thunders.
Yeah.
Which means that the burn decks will be super powerful. It is a lot better, which is something you guys pointed out to me. Something you guys need to really pay attention. It doesn't target your opponent.
And this is only relevant in the case of the tree deck with Excalibur, or any deck that uses Excalibur X. But come on, like only tree uses Excalibur X.
So you can directly do damage to your opponent without targeting them, which means that it bypasses a lot of small abilities that would otherwise, stop it.
That's interesting.
I
mean, it doesn't make it super great.
No, but those corner case scenarios in which your opponent would be like, haha, it just hits you.
Yeah.
Which I think is really good. I don't know if that's a typo though. I feel like it's a typo.
It might be.
I feel like they wanted to target. But I mean that might
it'd be the exact same.
Is it all opponents
maybe
or just opponent?
An opponent, I believe.
Yeah,
I'll pull that up in a second. But you're right. So that's probably why it is actually different. Is because
they didn't want to reprint any cards, and that's probably why they changed.
Let me quickly say the spoilers, and then I want to say my what I think about that actually in a second. So destructive assault, which is 1 green, is the other one. The other ones that we've got, which is destroy target addition or regalia, which is only at chance speed. It's not quick castable. And the other one that we have is actually a card that we've already had.
Bombardment, right?
Bombardment.
Oh, it's just called bombardment.
Yeah, it's a bombardment. And it has the this is actually a new one. So this card deals 600 damage to target player or Resonator. Mm-hmm. And it has the chant with the quick cast.
And it's got the lightning around the wheel.
That looks so cool.
Yeah, the Sylvia art is pretty sick.
I haven't really figured out what the lightning around the circle necessarily means. I think it's
quick cast.
It's quick cast. Okay, that's what
I said that back in the past.
That wasn't paying
I was like, for those visual people, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, shout out to Cole because he pointed out this card was good. We did podcasts and he said it was good and he was going to play it in the red deck.
I'm pretty sure I pointed out the green one.
If you show me that card, I'm going to play it. But, I mean, yeah, good on him because, he's always looking out for stuff that I didn't really look through those spoilers very well.
He got a Sylvia, acrylic Sylvia, and Sylvia's on the card.
Okay, we're done bragging about Cole. We need to move on from him.
Okay.
So yeah, there's just a ton of new things like that. I'm trying to browse around and see if there's any other mechanics that we're looking for. But really quick, that's actually something I forgot.
Torrent.
It's
kind of like a it's a new symbol skill. So if you played a spell before you casted this card, you get a bonus ability off the card.
Okay. Cool.
It's in the green. Keep going down, Jay. It's right there, Jay.
Right there.
That's got Torrent.
Okay.
So you can read it.
Let's see what it actually says. So Torrent, so the whole spell itself is cloning magic, which is 1 wind, 1 colorless. It is a chant with quick cast. Target Resonator gains whenever you play an active ability of this card, copy that ability. You may choose new targets for that copy until in turn. Torrent, as you play this card, if you played 1 or more other cards this turn, you gain the following text, which is draw a card. So yeah, it's a weird kicker type ability. Mm-hmm. That's kind of nice. It makes sequencing important.
It's kind of like Storm-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it wants you to play a lot.
It was Surge. It was Surge in the previous set of Magic, I believe.
Yeah, I believe I remember seeing that as well. And there is one other ability as well, which is the one that's on the support character for...
Yeah, it's the target attack. It's precision.
Yeah, precision.
We've talked about that, I think, last time.
So it is the new target attack.
It's just precision is the new target attack.
I think target attack was
It makes a lot more sense. It's very clear.
So what? Target attack?
Mm-hmm.
The reason why people got rid of the reason why they got rid of target attack was because it had the word target in the symbol skill name. You guys understand that?
So you're
right?
saying like if a creature can't be targeted, then
so Cheshire Cat, the epic question of can I attack Cheshire Cat with a target attack? And you've had to explain this multiple times.
Yes.
No.
This makes sense.
So this is the reason why.
Thank you for
coming to Patrick's lesson 101, Force of Will.
Okay. So actually, that was something I wanted to really quickly touch on about was when we said the cat for the promo. I almost forgot about this. Do you guys feel like this set is oops, we screwed up before, let's redo everything from Grim Cluster, but better or worse in different ways? Because most of these cards are functional reprints as opposed to completely new cards. Familiar is basically the same card. Grim does basically the same features. Like, there's a lot of these cards that are Thunder, but plus. It's just, do you think this is reboot the Grim Cluster, reboot the game?
So I guess how I see it is kind of how Don was saying earlier. It's they're kind of changing the game.
Well, yeah.
So, and I kind of have a feeling that we're kind of almost going to gloss over these last couple of clusters, just like we kind of did with Valhalla. They're eventually just going to be kind of wiped clean. And we're going to have this kind of new just meta of what cards should be from here on out.
Right, but I mean, we never had like the rebuilt of Valhalla where we went back and did those mechanics but fixed. In this one, do you think we're going to end up seeing Cheshire 2.0, which is basically the same card but with some?
We know we're getting a Cheshire Cat. But we don't know what it's going to do.
Right, but do you think it's going to be a functional reprint, or do you think it's going to be something completely new? A lot of these cards seem to be functional reprints right now.
I think it'll be I guess I'm going to have to say it's probably going to be a functional reprint just based off the two cards we've seen.
I mean,
but those
bums me out a lot.
But those are the only two cards so far that we've seen. That are functional reprints out of all the spoilers.
Are these cards in Lapis Cluster, though?
So
these two Thunders and the cat?
These are going to be in Lapis, yes. So the thing is we've seen a couple other ones, actually, because there's one that I went over in the starter deck with Grim. We didn't talk about it, but it's very similar to Tell a Fairy Tale in the first set, where you got to search your deck for a fairy tale, put it in your hand. If you controlled Grim, you got to put it into play.
Yeah.
This one has the fixed version of it, which is search for your deck for a fairy tale, put it in your hand. If you control Grim, you search for, and it's Millennium, but I'm just using Grim as a stand-in there. You search for two fairy tales, and you put them into your hand. So instead of putting one on the field, you put them in the hand.
They're similar, but I wouldn't say those are functional reprints.
I mean, it's very similar to the card. It's like...
They're similar. I think there's a hint. I say the cat and the Thunderbolt are definitely, super, I thought those were actual reprints, just different names, but they aren't. I disagree on that one, and I also disagree on the Grim Ruler, because this one you're forced to pay white to play Fairy Tales you want, where Grim was you can use any color at all.
That made him really fun. But I mean, it feels like they're just taking them and fixing them to make them not broken or make them better or worse for whatever.
I think it's just they're going back to the same land that we already know, so they're just touching on stuff. It's kind of like a flavor thing. It's like with Magic. They have the same abilities. If you come similar same abilities, what Ravnica.
Ravnica was way different.
Was it?
Their abilities from original Ravnica to new Ravnica are completely different. They do bring a few back from Innistrad to Innistrad, but I mean even the one before that, Return to
Eldrazi or whatever.
Battle for Zendikar. They changed up those keywords a lot too. Magic actually does change very differently from sets, from the old set to the new set.
But don't they have the same feel?
I mean, there was an Ulamog, and now there's a new Lamog.
But they do completely different things.
They do completely different things, but they still have Annihilator and stuff.
They both exile.
Well, I mean... Okay, so... I get that they should do similar things, but I want them to do different things, not basically the same exact ability.
I agree with you on the Thunder and the Lightning, but the white cards, I think they do different enough things. I'm pretty sure the new white card is only 2 mana, whereas Tell a Fairy Tale was 3 mana. This new one's double white. tell a fairy tale is 1 white, 2 colorless.
I mean, that's small tweak difference.
Yeah, but that's enough small tweaks. Whereas the cats only have like one small tweak. I just want something
more interesting in the set as a whole, considering that we only have 105 cards. Magic comes back with, 400 different cards in each set, and there's dramatically different feel to it all. And I just feel like we're getting the same set. I just want something a little bit different.
But this is a starter deck. Like, we're not even going over the other stuff. I think that Thunder was necessary because you need
I love that Thunder. It's really good.
The blue and the green spoilers we've had are from the actual set.
From the Grim, yeah.
Yeah, and the other Lapis is...
And the green one, I will give you, is a very different, all-new kind of feel to it. But the blue one, I don't feel too different about. I'm just afraid of a lot of cards getting basically functionally reprinted. I
think we've gotten enough spoilers where that's not going to be the case.
Okay. I mean, we won't know until everything's out, though, I guess. Yeah. We'll see what happens with the Cheshire Cat. Other cards that I feel like they're going to reprint are going to be like Cake Zone-esque. I know that we saw a new Grimm and Hansel and Gretel, but I couldn't find those when I was looking up spoilers a second ago, so I'm not exactly sure what they do.
They're white.
They're white now?
Yeah, white. Grimm is a 3-mana 8/8, and he has the Force ability. It's white. No, this is Grimm.
Oh.
He has a white and a colorless activate ability. He gives all your team Force.
But what about Hansel and Gretel?
I don't remember what they do because they weren't as exciting.
Well, yeah, we'll probably put those on the side so you guys can take a look at them, make work for him.
Is Grimm a Resonator?
Yeah,
Grimm's
he's a Resonator.
I did see that.
He's a 3-mana 8/8.
Okay.
Who forces your whole board.
That sounds so dumb, dude. You have to roll so many dice for that.
No, you roll one die and they all get that whatever many counters you roll.
Also, we did get a weird thing where we were told that store owners or the retailer would know something special was coming out.
Oh, yeah. You've been bombarded with all those questions today.
I don't know what any of that is. Can a representative from Force of Will please communicate better with distributors and distributors better with us?
He's talking about the goddesses.
Is that what it is?
The Force of Will goddesses.
The 3 goddesses?
Yeah. So a bunch of people are coming up to me saying, "Oh, there's supposed to be these promos. Oh, what's going on with this? What's going on with that?" And I don't know any of this. I was like, "What are you talking about?" My distributor said nothing. Then again, some distributors are having problems getting promos out to stores and various other problems with that we've been dealing with a long time ago, which you guys might remember me talking about in an older podcast. Although Force of Will is doing really well to put stuff out there, for some reason some of the American distributors are just dropping the ball and making it very hard to get stuff. Yeah, we're all lazy here. Can only speak one language. No. But I mean, it's kind of lame because I don't know what that stuff was when it came out. I mean, you guys know more about it than I do. Maybe that's just because I wasn't on the internet enough, but allegedly this is something that I was supposed to have been told via a distributor or something like that. So I'm not exactly sure where all that information is coming from. Some people were talking to me about it's supposed to be doing something with the will points as well, which I know that's coming out eventually.
Isn't that late August?
We have a VIP and a...
I'm B.
You're B. What are you?
I don't have any points.
You don't have any points?
Went on to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I have like a little stack I haven't put in yet, but
I have probably just as many as I already have entered.
You only needed 600 to be VIP.
Really?
It's just for ranking now that you're going for.
I thought they were only doing the top 100 were VIP. Is
no,
it just everybody
it's a point cap.
Yeah.
At least this time around, it's a point cap.
I mean,
because I just hit 300. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop unless I somehow get 100.
600 is impressive.
Do you want 100 points?
I'd be put up to rank
A, maybe.
A.
I mean, I can give you another 100.
I can give you guys all 100 or something like that.
I might be able, if you guys give me them in the time frame, I might be able to get
just for a weird point of reference, I have 2,171 points, and that's probably only half of the stack. I'm VIP. Rank. 19 in the world and 15 in the country. I was number 1 for a while.
You were 1 in the beginning.
But I stopped entering points a while back because they told me that there was a cap and amount to it, so I just stopped putting in points.
Yeah.
So
there should be a prize for like top 1.
There should be something unique for it, but
I mean, top 15 or 19 in the world is pretty impressive. Also,
I mean that's also just a blatant, people buying stuff. That is impressive and yet sad at the same time. There's way too many points.
But it was also community was helping you
That
out.
is true.
Though.
A lot of people gave
that was
stuff.
kind of cool.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's like store owners just like hoarding all these.
Well, I also buy 4 boxes at a time.
You also buy 4 boxes,
Which-
but I also buy 4 boxes.
4
Just 36
boxes only
packs.
gets you what, around 150 points though?
Yeah, I mean that's still quite a bit. Yeah, so that does mean that I have a lot of people giving me points. Wow, thank you everybody who gave me points. I have way too many points.
I think he's probably your biggest point.
Me,
giver.
Nicolette.
Yeah.
I gave you a few in the beginning of like, wait, you get stuff? It's like, okay, now I'm doing it.
I'm really excited to see whatever those promos are. That'd be really, really cool. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that was released in the past couple days. And really quick, there was the more information about the starter decks, which is they're now putting booster packs in with the starter decks as well.
Yeah, I think 2 packs? 2
yeah.
packs, 2 dice, 2 6-sided dice.
And which is cool. I'm super stoked to get special forcible dice. Hopefully they have an
For
emblem or
the
something.
force
I hope
ability,
they're
right?
like Pokemon.
Oh,
You're so excited to get those dice for the force ability?
I hope they're like
Right?
Pokemon dice.
No.
Right?
No.
That's why they're in there, dude.
So more importantly, half of the starter decks are going to be foil, which
right.
I don't know if that's randomly foiled or.
What do you mean by
I
that?
think
Or if
because
it's like
you're getting
50-50.
4 of every card. I think 2 of the cards are going to be foil and 2 of the cards are not going to be foil.
So you have to
That's
buy
so
2
weird.
starter decks to
No.
have a foil set.
Well,
Is
that's
it-
for
is
the
it-
super collectors. Will want to buy 2 of
Is it-
each.
Which I probably will
Like
for
Jay.
a foil set.
You were
Is it
already planning on
foil
buying
or
2 of
full
each.
art? It's not full
I think
art,
it said
right?
foil.
Okay.
And then it's saying
No. So it says half of the non-ruler cards in each deck are foil. So for people who hate foils, you have to buy 2 of them so that we can get the non-foil set. Actually, that's
Or
a
find a buddy and just trade.
yeah. No, just buy 2, everybody. Buy 2.
I'm gonna buy 1 unless you want to split 2 boxes, and I'll take all the non-foil. You can have all.
I'll take all the foil. Working out on camera, guys. We got this. We also have the tournament cards, the announcement for the pre-release, which, I mean, for anybody who's really complaining about a stale format, we only have like a month left before the set comes out.
Oh yeah,
It's
it's
really,
gonna change
really
pretty
soon
gnarly.
that we actually have an entire new set coming
And
out.
there's only 2 AGPs
Mhm.
left, right?
I think there's only 1.
I think it might be only 1 too.
It's 1 or 2.
I mean, we really, and that's actually where we found out.
Oh, and
about
it's
the-
GenCon this coming weekend.
Is that the AGP or is that just
No, but there is a Forcible Tournament there where you can win a. If you get first, you get a non-paid
Valentina.
trip to.
It's still worth it.
Yeah.
That's an
So it's not the
invite.
full ride invite, but it's an invite to Worlds.
Top 8 also gets a Valentina, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the prizes. Yeah,
The Valentina
gold through acrylic.
Yeah. Cole will be
Do-
excited.
Do you ever think they'll open up the idea to do? So in Magic the Gathering, there's the locals tournaments that allow you to get into the bigger
I
tournaments.
mean, eventually, someday, when Forcible gets big enough.
I think we're
Well,
way
I'm
too
just-
small for that to happen.
you don't think that? I mean, so to the Magic ones, there's only like 30 people that'll show up to them.
I'm just saying Forcible's too small to do that right now.
Do
Okay.
you think that we could host a tournament with 30 people and they would allow us to give away invite? Because if they would, I would host that type of event in my store.
Oh, you host
And
an
I'm pretty
AGP?
sure- Well, not an AGP, like a smaller satellite tournament to get into.
Like a GenCon invite?
Yeah, basically just give away the non-supported invites. I wonder if
You're
that's
gonna have to
something
find
that
the right people to talk to.
Let me support that in my store, guys.
I mean, that would be cool, but I think that way more people would show up to those events than the Magic ones because they're so, like, uncommon.
True. And also when Magic does those, there's literally like 5 other stores in the neighborhood that are doing them at the
Yeah.
same time. So it's like a weird way to split up a bigger tournament.
It's
is
a
all
way
into
to
smaller
split up an
stores.
AGP, but the thing about GenCon...
Pro Tour qualifiers, that's what they're called.
The thing about GenCon is they have prize support to do a top 8 acrylic through gold. these are like $100 cards that they're prize supporting with, and there's the head judge
what are you going to give
your
players, Jay?
So for the Pro Tour qualifiers for Magic, I give away 2 boxes of Magic to the winner, plus a plane ticket to wherever the next tournament is for them. Yeah. So we actually give them quite a bit.
Is it really a plane ticket? It's a trip.
Or it's a trip. It's something. It's a trip voucher.
We do PPTQs to go into a PTQ.
Yes.
Which then gives a
so that and I'm actually talking to you about literally like 2 years ago. We used to do preliminary Pro Tour qualifiers, which was actually a little over 100 people. No, 200 people is what I had seated at that. And that is what we used to do for that. Now we have the preliminary Pro Tour qualifiers, which are the events before that. We're no longer allowed to host the Pro Tour qualifiers for some weird reason. It's a change with WotC for everybody. But I'm just saying, it'd be cool to have something in that vein for Forcible. I'd be super excited to host a bigger tournament at stores, at locals, for getting more local players to go, because a lot of people can't drive all the way to, the big cities to go play every time. It'd just be a way to get more players the ability to get those prizes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're giving out a free plane ticket, that sounds...
I mean, I don't think we'd be giving out. I'm just saying, I just want the ability to give out the invite, and maybe a box to my people, which is something I would be supporting through a store, not through
all you
Ben
people.
Metal.
Hey, all you people.
But no, it'd just be cool to be able to give stores the ability to give away invites, because it also helps us, advertising. We'd be able to get, 50 people here playing some Forcible. It'd be kind of neat.
It'd be kind of neat. I mean, I don't like the idea of like maybe having this kind of like quiet tournament and kind of sneaking in a person who probably shouldn't deserve to even.
That was actually a problem why they got rid of the Pro Tour qualifiers for Magic. Is there was literally some stores that would hold a vintage tournament, knowing that nobody would show up for vintage, and they'd be like, "Oh, there's only 8 of us. Look, Jimmy, you win because we all quit and go." That was actually a problem that they're having, but by that they moved it to only allowing it to be the sealed or standard is the only tournaments that Magic can host now for that reason. It's actually something they did. I think it's something we can eventually bring to Forcible, and I would love to see those, because I would love to travel to one of those tournaments that are more local, play, and possibly go. Of course, I can't participate in my own because the rules and regulations for hosting and participating in your own tournaments is don't do it. Illegal. But there's nothing against me, going to Mythic, which is our local competitor here, and going playing at Ruben's store, and it's kind of nice to see stores come together, hang out with each other, because there's not a lot of stores like me and Ruben that actually hang out outside of our works and play games with each other. Most stores and a lot of players inside of stores think that there's a weird grudge going on between all the stores when there's not sometimes. Even against us, it's like I play Magic with Ruben every now and then, and everybody thinks that there's some weird grudge between our stores, and there's not. So when I walk over there, they all look at me like I'm like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, I'm here to say hi.
Yeah, I do that too. I think everybody in all the stores just shop at each other's stores.
Yeah, I mean, it's slowly becoming more of an accepted thing here, but I mean, when we first started here, it was a lot. There was that hesitation between players and
this store is the only store for me. I give Ruben those weird looks.
So I can't think of anything else for us to talk to for us, and I know that we're starting to ramble, guys. Thank you for watching this far. Also, if there's anything else we're forgetting or anything you guys want to talk to us about in the comments below, we're definitely listening to them and replying back to them as best as we can. And if we even get enough of them question-wise, we'll even try to answer them inside the show, or at least give knowledge to them. But thank you guys for watching. I'm your host, Jay Phillips.
Joined as always with Don Bowie. And...
Patrick Collins.
This is what I work with, guys. Have a good night.
You're full on Zodiac. You were fully gone. You were just talking a moment ago.
What was going on in your head?
I thought you were gonna say joined as always with.
You're full zone.
And then there
was you were in zone.
Is that how I usually do the outro? I think you were just out there, because I usually just pause.
That was the most zoned outlook I think I've ever seen you give, and it's on camera. It's great.
I'm uploading.